How to spot a fake pair of Timberland boots. Hey everybody, I'm Massimo and welcome back to the only channel on YouTube that covers in-depth videos of cars, lifestyle, fashion, the Show Me channel. And today we're going over these. That's right, I've been seeing Timberland boots trending a lot right now. A lot of people are buying them for the holiday season. So I figured it'd be a good time to teach you guys how to spot a fake one. So without further ado, be sure to like and share for that YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe. Any support would just be awesome. Now let's get right into it. Alrighty, the first thing you can do before you even see the pair of Timberland boots is actually check out the box. Where exactly will be right here on the info label. Basically, what you're going to be checking right here is the printing quality. A lot of times they'll make a little washed out Timberland boot right there. And then you're just going to look at the text. Make sure the text is really nice and printed on there. The font sizing is really done correct. The font spacing and the font placement. Here will be a good example for you guys on a real versus fake one. As you can see on the fake one, the quality is just all sorts of washed out and everything, not that defined. And the lettering seems to be a little bit too thin. Alrighty, now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and crack open this box and get this Timberland boot in hand. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is just get a feel for it and check out the quality. So Timberland boots actually have pretty decent quality. You can feel the nubuck is really soft and there's some weight to the shoe. If you grab a Timberland boot and you feel the nubuck and it feels really coarse, good sign it is a fake. And if it feels really light and thin, another good sign it was made in a cheap factory. And also if you take the nubuck suede and you drag your fingers across it, you can see the difference in how it leaves certain marks. Here's a good example of real versus fakes on the markings. The fake pairs leave little marks, and then you can see on the real pair how the suede actually is supposed to look. And here's another photo example of a real pair. This lighting is a little too bright, so you can kind of see it right here that a real pair is supposed to leave really nice and dark traces over time too. The next thing you're going to want to check is the stitching quality of the boot, specifically right here on this stitch line. Real pairs are going to be really nicely threaded with big old thick stitching, while in the fake pairs they're a little too narrow. Here's a good example of real versus fake. Right there, the real pair has the nice big old Timberland stitches, while the fake one is just too small. See that too from the back stitches right here. Just check the stitching on that. But also, while we're on the back, you want to check for the bulkiness of the back. Typically, fake pairs are not this slim. They're a little thickened up, and they don't have that really nice hourglass kind of look to the back of it. Here's a good example of real versus fake. The real one, you can see, really nice and slim in the middle, while the fake pair is just bulky up and down. Another good thing to check is actually the laces of the Timberland boots. A lot of people tend to mess up the laces a lot. They tend to have them actually too thin. So once again, you want to look at the laces and make sure they're the nice big old thick Timberland lace. Here's a good example right here of real versus fake. Real ones are really nice and plumb, while the fake ones are just too thin. Alrighty, most of the time, you know, these fake shoes, they're gonna pass all those tests. So it's time to get into the deeper details, like the Timberland logo. Zoom in a little closer so you guys can see what a real pair looks like, but the fake pairs will have their logos too deep into the suede leather. And then the quality of the print, it will be all sorts of messed up as well. So this one is really nice, crisp, and defined, while a fake pair will be kind of too thick. Here's a good example of real versus fake right here so you guys can see a little closer. Once again, real pair, really nice. Fake pair, way too deep into the leather, and the printing is just all kinds of messed up. You can't really make out the Timberland tree that well. And then the next thing you want to look for after that detail will actually be the interior text right there. A little hard to see on camera, but it's going to be kind of the same philosophy as the info tag. You want to look for the letter sizing, font thickness, all that stuff. Here's a good example of real versus fake. A big point where they mess up is the M is way too thick on the fake pairs. And then once you look at the lettering of the sizing and all the numbers, you want to look at the information below that. The one that starts with genuine leather uppers. You can see on the fake pair, it's too thin and not. Once again, it's going to be the fine details in the letters themselves. So you can see the G and the S on the fake pairs are just too thin. Alrighty, now the last thing that I like to look at, and this is kind of something cool I like to show people, is actually how the shoe sits on a flat surface. So what you want to do is you want to take the box if you have it, or just a flat surface, and kind of just set the boot or shoe on top of it at pretty much the toe box and how it sits. So you can see it's a nice little curve up and everything. What I tend to see on fake pairs is it's too far up, and it's actually when you put the shoe on a flat surface, it lays flat. Now if you do that and it lays flat, really good sign that it's a fake pair. Here's a good example once again of real versus fake. Just looking at the toe box, as you can see, the real one has a nice curve while the fake pair is just a little too flat when you lay it on a flat surface. And then yeah, that's all really for the details of the boot. This next piece of information is just my general experience, and that is to check out the seller and ask the seller a bunch of questions. You know, where do they get the boot? Why are they selling the boot? And all that fun stuff. And try to piece together a story and to see if it's consistent. If you're asking the seller a bunch of questions like, do you have the receipt, proof of purchase, and stuff like that, and the story seems a little bit off, it's a good sign that they're probably trying to lie to you and sell you a fake pair. But yeah, I think that's all you guys are going to need to know to spotting a real versus fake Timberland boot. What do you guys think about it? Comment down below your opinion, like and share for that YouTube algorithm, and last but certainly not least, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.